Hello, everyone, and welcome to VMblog's coverage of the KubeCon CloudNativeCon North America 2025 event taking place in Atlanta. And today we're thrilled to be joined by a friend of the show and to a KubeCon attendee that probably needs no introduction. Uh, we'd like to welcome aboard Betty Junod, the CMO and SVP at Heroku. Betty, it's so nice to
Hello,
speak to you again.
David, Brian. So great to see you guys. How are you?
Very, very well. I know we recently spoke to you ahead of the KubeCon Europe, so it's great to have you back so quickly.
It seems like we're always having a CubeCon, right? Twice a year,
It's
every six
great.
months.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So why don't we kick things off? If you could just introduce the company and give us a quick overview of the technology.
Yeah, so Heroku is an AI platform as a service, so AI PaaS, and we're part of the Salesforce family of applications. So everyone out there knows Salesforce, probably knows it for CRM, Sales Cloud, but what we have is we've actually expanded that portfolio to cover a range of like sales, marketing, revenue, service, as well as more kind of like horizontally like infrastructure platform type solutions like Heroku for all the kind of custom code app dev, as well as things like Data 360, Agentforce, MuleSoft, and the underlying Salesforce platform. So combined as a rich portfolio, we're able to help customers just build, any type of application to help run their business, whether that be customer facing or for their employees. And Heroku's place in that specifically as the AI PaaS is about helping teams build and run any type of application. So any type of custom app that they can imagine, removing all the friction from getting that from idea to the application created to deployment. We all know that, when you talk to end user organizations, they say like, if you ask them how long it takes to get a new idea out to market, it's generous if somebody says a few months, but a lot of like large enterprises, it could take a year plus. And there's a lot of steps that add a lot of friction to that process. And so Heroku has always been here to help that be a more seamless process for the teams and individuals.
Now, for people that are going to be coming to the show and attending KubeCon, what are some of the specific problems that they may be facing at their company that Heroku solves for them?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at KubeCon and you look at the CNCF cloud native landscape, in order to have a platform in which you can serve your developers to onboard their applications and then to run them at scale, with high availability, security, and all that, it's actually, tens, if not hundreds of components off of that landscape chart, which is also already to a place where all the logos and all the font is tiny, tiny, tiny in order to fit everything there. But companies, the IT leaders have to pick at least one or two things from each one of the little boxes on the landscape. They have to pick them. They have to then like validate them. They have to integrate it with the other things, that other puzzle pieces that they pick, and then they have to maintain that all before a single workload can be running. Now imagine if any one of those projects has an update, or if there's a security vuln somewhere. Now the team is like trying to figure out like you got to find it all, you got to update it all, you got to make sure all your integrations still work, and then that it doesn't impact the applications that are running. So what Heroku is doing is we're taking all of those parts and we're doing the heavy lifting of the infrastructure, and when I say infrastructure, it's compute, networking, storage, databases. It's the securing all of those, integrating those, the configurations of when you request a new environment, right?
Hmm.
Always spinning up two environments as a pre-production and a production. Managing the updates, lifecycle managing of that component so that the application teams really only have to worry about building and deploying. And now with the advent of AI, basically AI technology is touching every layer of the infrastructure stack, as well as every part of the software delivery lifecycle. And so what we've done kind of over this last, let's say 9 months is really, being thoughtful about bringing those powerful AI components directly into the platform. So again, helping customers consume powerful technologies to build amazing applications for their customers, which is the differentiating part, and not have to, spend all the cycles like figuring out what to pick, how to integrate it in, how to support it before I can actually consume it.
That's a good transition to my next question. Really, I wanted to see if there's any way you can walk us through a real world customer success story that showcases the impact of Heroku.
Yeah, so when we look at Heroku, it's we're in kind of a unique position also because we're part of the Salesforce family. So our customers kind of span two distinct use cases. One is complete greenfield app development, right? We have folks like Health Sherpa. Health Sherpa is the company behind the open enrollment process for the Affordable Care Act. So if you think about that and the millions of Americans that then need to sign up for insurance during open enrollment, most people, I mean, this is me included, I don't sign up right when the time period opens. We put it on our calendar, we forget, and it's likely the majority of folks sign up just before the deadline, right? So if you think about that from an application scale and load perspective, that can get a little hairy. How do you plan for that? Well, Heroku allows that organization to build this amazing application to make it easy for people to sign up online. But then our platform provides just auto scales. So when those peaks happen, nobody has to go in there and figure out how high will the load be, how many people have signed up versus not, what are we still expecting? But the system just auto scales for them, and then it'll auto scale back down when the requests go down. So that's one example of like pure custom applications that we help. And even folks like there's a company called Vestmark out of the Northeast. They're building custom solutions for their customers who are in financial services. So they build solutions for them. They're able to get things to market way faster because our environment takes care of a lot of the checks and balances and governance. We provide a compliant runtime environment so then they can focus on developing the software, deploying it to these environments to things that are like PCI compliant environments, and then just giving that to their customer. Instead of each time figuring out let me set something up, set up the infrastructure target, making sure it's compliant, going through all that rigorous compliance, it's already there. And they can focus on the build. So those are two examples of just pure greenfield app dev. On the other side is customers who are customers of Salesforce who are using any number of the Salesforce clouds. It could be a customer using kind of like Revenue Cloud, where you keep all your price lists and you're quoting customers. It could be using Service Cloud for customer support. It could be using they could be using like Sales Cloud or Marketing Cloud. In there, we have a lot of examples where, they're building, customized workflows or apps that are using those systems of record and systems of engagement, but they want to add custom functionality or they want to provide some burst capacity. And in that sense, Heroku is deeply integrated in with the Salesforce platform. And what we allow is for a secure and seamless way for customers to leverage the elastic compute and the flexibility of all the 9 programming languages that we support to be able to customize best of breed software with the extra configurations and capabilities that make it unique to their business. And in those, we have examples like Workday and Kawasaki engines, like Lamborghini, that use these powerful Salesforce products with our elastic compute.
So it sounds like you have kind of a unique product itself, but with all these other companies that are showcasing their solutions at KubeCon, what would you say is the main thing that makes you stand out and kind of makes you unique?
Our core mission has always been about making difficult things simple. That doesn't mean that it's lacks in capability, but the idea of we're always about empowering the builder so that they can build and run great applications. So removing a lot of those barriers. So what that means is we're always focusing on the developer experience. The developer experience, a big part of that means making all these kind of other infrastructure and security and operational things seamless for them. Also bringing powerful tools for and capabilities for building new applications accessible in a way that doesn't add more cognitive load. So that's at the core of what we've always been doing. So to do that means making a lot of this infrastructure stuff really easy. However, now with AI, the who is a builder has changed dramatically. Doesn't always have to be someone who's like, very well versed in certain programming languages. It's someone who has an idea and can just, articulate that in a text message, right? They can get that. They can now take that, and, possibly turn that into a running application. So for us, it's always been about simplicity, in the simplicity and user experience, but not at the sake of like not providing powerful capabilities. But powerful things don't have to be complicated to use, and they shouldn't
Uh,
be.
yeah, no, I like that. I need some Heroku simplicity in my life as well.
Is it for your calendar, David, or what?
It's for everything all day long. I
Yeah.
need simplicity. Sticking with talking about your technology, could you maybe give us a deeper dive into the solution and maybe more specifically talk about some of the innovations or features that you guys will be highlighting at your booth at KubeCon?
So at KubeCon, we recently released in pilot Heroku Vibes. So I touched on it, just touching a little bit on like how AI is changing who the builder is and how they build. With this, this movement of vibe coding. Vibe coding is really using all AI, the generative AI capabilities to make building applications like there's still code in there, but the person building it doesn't have to be an expert in code. They just have to know what they are looking for from a type of application, maybe even just the experience they want to have, maybe some colors, right?
Mhm.
And you can type as little or as much as you want. And then you type it into this little web interface and it'll create a project for you. It'll actually write code in the back end, spin up some dynos, database instance, and deploy your application. So it's really, really powerful. We are doing a kind of a big push also internally to have people use this. And what we are seeing is you're seeing a lot of like technology adjacent folks, like TPMs, product managers, folks, SEs. Like they know about the kind of apps they may want, but maybe they're not folks who like have been living in IDEs, right? They are building some phenomenal applications that they are using for their own personal productivity and even like for their team with vibes. So like I think that's the next thing. In some ways, this idea of vibe coding has made low code cool again. Low code cool because low code used to be like, hey, I'm going to drag and drop boxes, right, and make a workflow. But now it's just I'm going to describe what I want, and it's actually creating a whole bunch of a code. So if behind the scenes, and if you are a developer, you can go look at that stuff and make changes there. But if you're not a developer, that doesn't mean you don't you're prevented from being able to create an application.
Yeah, I would have to agree that AI is changing the way that people develop applications and the ease that with which that you can create an application or at least get a wireframe of it going really quickly is pretty amazing. Coming from a developer background, I see it as pretty incredible. With that being said, AI is definitely the leading topic of trends that are happening in 2025 and going beyond. So, in your roadmap, you've already talked about this new vibe coding. Um, how is your roadmap aligned with the new developments that are taking place in AI?
Yeah, so in the last like few months, we've actually been really So expanding the number of AI frameworks that we're supporting. So that's one part of it, bringing that into the platform. And we will, as well as models, right? Because the models are always changing. And so as soon as models come out, we then support that in the platform itself. So again, back to removing the heavy lifting from the customer, infrastructure heavy lifting. Instead, if we have more of these models available for them, then they can just consume that in their process. So that is a key area of like continuing to, that's a core part of our roadmap, is continuing to expand the models that we support, the frameworks that we support to enable these new class of applications that are AI enabled, that are agentic. And then we're continuing to deepen, like, we've done a lot of work this year to enhance our integration to our sister products. Right, making them secure, making it more seamless, helping bring that together. And we're continuing to enhance on that roadmap as well. That'll be, especially like what are specific things we could do for specific clouds, as well as generally what can we do at the platform level. And then underneath all of that is the core runtime platform itself. We announced kind of replatforming to Kubernetes and cloud native components. That is an ongoing, that'll continue as the ecosystem continues to evolve. So really, those are kind of the big areas so that the platform is robust for all the core, foundational things that it needs to be a great place to run applications. Bringing AI and expanding the AI type of capabilities that people have access to from the platform. And then deepening the integrations to our sister products.
Now, there's going to be, which is a great thing, there are going to be hundreds of vendors on the show expo floor at the upcoming show. With that said, what kind of message would you like a KubeCon attendee to take away about Heroku's vision?
We're here to help you. Our little tagline that we're taking now with this Vibes is vibe to live in minutes. So we're all about helping you get from your idea to reality as fast as possible.
So before we let you go, could we possibly maybe get a quick look at it and get a demo?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to a quick little demo we have for Heroku Vibes.
Heroku Vibes is the simplest way to go from idea to app. Vibes is your AI-powered collaborative agent for everyone. Developers, admins, and non-technical users alike, working together to turn ideas into live applications in minutes. It removes friction from creating, evolving, and scaling apps. For individuals, Vibes grows with you, from prototype to production. For enterprises and Salesforce customers, it offers a safe, secure way to build and scale apps that extend the Salesforce platform. The seamless on-ramp to production with Heroku's reliability and scalability. From the experienced developer to anyone with an idea they want to grow, Vibes is the faster, simpler way to create. Let's build a website for a company that helps users book restaurants in the San Francisco Bay Area. Vibes generates a plan and sticks to it. It uses all the available tools in the Heroku ecosystem to build the best possible solution. Heroku supports 9 different languages. You can build in Node.js, Python, Java, .NET, Ruby, Go, PHP, Scala, and Clojure, all powered by a growing catalog of third-party add-ons that expand your app's capabilities even further. Behind the scenes, Vibes orchestrates code generation through Heroku's AI coding agents, automatically provisioning everything needed for enterprise-grade applications. Heroku Postgres for a production-grade database. Heroku Managed Inference and Agents for AI-powered logic. And AppLink for seamless platform integration with Salesforce. All of this runs on the same trust ecosystem that has powered over 65 million applications. Our application has been built, and now we are ready to go to production. Heroku Vibes, your collaborative agent for turning ideas into apps.
Well, thanks for that demo. For people that are not going to be at the show or that are going to be at the show, what's the best way for them to find out more about Heroku?
So if you're at the show, you must stop by booth 305. We're the ones all in purple. You can't miss us. And then we'll have a demo of Vibes as well as our kind of just our, the rest of our platform capabilities in the booth. So you can kind of, you can get the demo live there. You can also get hands-on while you're there if you like. Or if you're not going to be at KubeCon, just go to vibes.heroku.com and just sign up and give it a whirl. I would love to see what you all can imagine.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Atlanta coming up, but just a few
Very
weeks.
quickly. Yeah.
Couple weeks, yeah.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you, and thanks again for talking with VMblog.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
All right.